Welcome to I'm Jason Sigler down in Austin. You're an EMT or
I'm a paramedic.
Paramedic. See, I was talking to one of the other hosts, and we were talking about which is one of them gets paid more.
Paramedics.
Paramedics. Okay. So how's the coronavirus happening down in Austin, and what kind of stories can you tell us on that?
Well, it's Austin is now officially a hotspot. We've had several cases of actual COVID positive patients being admitted to the hospitals. The biggest effect that it's having on us right now is that our call volume has dropped dramatically, because it almost seems like people aren't calling 911 because they're afraid that if they go to the hospital, they're going to catch COVID.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of there's even stories of police departments in certain areas. I can't really tell which ones, but the cops are pulling people over because of the fear of getting COVID-19 or the Chinese virus.
Oh, Jesus. Well,
No, it was really funny because Houston's mayor had this big press conference telling criminals to stop being criminals for a little bit so we can get the COVID-19 under control.
Yeah, I heard about that. And the only thing I could do was just kind of shake my head and go, really? That's where we're at now? You're to the point now where you're going to ask criminals, hey, we understand that you guys are criminals and you're going to do things that are, against the law, but would you mind toning it down a bit until we get this stuff under control?
Yeah. No, what's really funny is I was thinking about that. I was like, you could totally get out of getting robbed at gunpoint now. Just going, oh, I got the COVID-19, start sneezing and coughing. Modern days, modern solutions.
I'm sure that there are other ways to get out of that situation, but yeah.
Oh yeah, there is.
Definitely a thought.
Yeah. We'll put a pin in it, and just in case.
Yeah, I'm not going to pull the pin on that grenade.
Well, and in all reality, the Chinese virus, it does have, from what you were telling me, you can go ahead and tell the story. But
I'm not comfortable putting that over the airways. That's
okay.
And that's just at the risk of violating a HIPAA law.
Oh, okay.
But I'll tell you from a third party standpoint, there was a guy that was picked up who was 40 years old. He was an athlete, healthy guy, no history of any kind, no cardiac conditions. He just had some mild flu-like symptoms, and other than just looking like he felt like crap, you're like, yeah, you're gonna be fine, And then within 3 days of that transport, he was dead. Like he ended up crashing. He started out with just basic flu-like symptoms, and then ultimately ended up having to be put on a ventilator, and he just continued to spiral down until he was just gone.
Yeah. But how's your PPE gear holding up?
Well,
because a lot of people are telling everybody it's like, you're out of stock. A lot of places are out of stock right now for like gloves, masks, and whatnot.
Well, a lot of it. In the beginning, we weren't all that concerned about it unless they had a fever or a recent cough. Then we were like, as long as we didn't suspect it, it was just business as usual. And and our standard PPE for every patient contact is just gloves and eye protection. But if we suspected, if there was any kind of suspicion that, hey, this patient could be sick, then we're going to put on an N95 mask, and we're still wearing our gloves, our eye protection, but we're also going to put on an apron or a gown. And once of course, we're going to put a mask on the patient too. And then after the transport's done, we go through our unit and we sanitize or sterilize the hell out of it. So we're spraying like a 10% bleach solution on everything in the back of the module. And then we have to roll down all the windows, open up all the doors, and we have to just sit there out of service and let it sit for 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, then we go through and we wipe everything down. So, I mean, we're talking like we're out of service for the better part of a half an hour so that we can decontaminate the back of the ambulance so that we're ready for the next call. So in that course of the half an hour, there's people that could be calling for us, but we can't go get them because we have to decontaminate. And like I was telling you, like our call volume has dropped. So because our call volume's dropped, they've had to cut units. So we're out there on the streets with fewer ambulances than we normally would. So that plays into account as well. So it really messes with our response time because we respond to 911 calls. We call it out in county, and that means you've been out here where I live in the Round Rock area, but we have to drive over to, 2 counties over for 911 responses. And it's from here, driving at 75, 80 miles an hour, it takes about 40 minutes to get there.
Oh, okay.
And my partner and I had responded from Round Rock to a motor vehicle collision out in county, and we were running lights and sirens, and it still took us over a half an hour to get to the scene.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, it really is affecting the general populace and EMS as a whole.
Are you getting less vehicle collisions nowadays, or because of
that's well, yeah, actually, yeah.
Our roads are really I mean, today I had to go drop some stuff off, and it was the first time in a long while that the roads were actually a little bit backed up on a Sunday. Mm-hmm. Everything else, though, on any other day, it's almost free and clear. You can play basketball on the streets.
Yeah, well, and I live right off of the 35, so and I work at night. So generally, before all of this mess hit, that 35 it constantly had traffic running down it, just at all hours of the night. And here lately, between the hours of about, I want to say 11 p.m. to maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, it's eerie. Like it's so deserted driving down the highway. I kind of feel like I'm rolling into the opening scene of the Silent Hill.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really unsettling.
No, because they've closed off a lot of events for like everywhere. How is that down in Austin? Because I know I can't remember the film festival there, or what's it actually called. But I know they canceled that in the beginning of March, and they were looking at maybe close to about $40 million lost because of everything down there was just cut off.
Yeah, well, as far as the events go, I'm not real sure on that because, well, you know me, I have no life. I'm married to my job. So when I'm not at work, I'm usually at home studying. But I can tell you that I'm a month overdue for a haircut because all the barbershops have been closed.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about on that one because I've been trying. I was like, man, I'm getting really super struggling now.
Product placement. If you're not drinking Vikings blood, you should be drinking Vikings blood.
I can't put that on the placement because, well, I eventually one day will make my own Vikings blood.
Yeah, but your Vikings blood is going to involve human blood.
That's not.
And you're going to drink it from the skulls of your vanquished enemies.
Hey! I will patch that hole in the head so I can do it.
No, but as far as other stuff like the businesses that are being affected, of course, every restaurant in town has been closed.
Yeah.
The lines to get into places like H-E-B have just been just maddening. Like I'll get off work at 7 o'clock in the morning and remind myself, oh yeah, I need to go get groceries because I haven't gone in like 2 weeks. But I'll get out there to HEB and see that there's a line to get into the store that goes down the plaza, around the corner, and into the parking lot of the next business to get
Oh
in.
yeah, because you don't have well, Wichita Falls being small as it is, we don't have that much. We don't have what is it called, a queue to get into the Walmart or anything.
Yeah. Well, and you don't
Y'all,
have, there isn't a queue to get into Walmart either, but that's because Walmart has been picked clean.
oh really?
Yeah, there's like, oh God, there's nothing there. Like right when this scare started, you've been to my place. I'm not OCD with cleanliness, but I do like to keep things neat. So I was going to Walmart. I was like, oh, I need to get some stuff so I can clean the bathroom and clean up the kitchen. I just needed to get some Lysol and Pine Sol.
Yeah.
And there was no cleaning solutions at all. There was no Tilex, there was no Pine Sol, there was no Clorox. I mean, there was nothing in the cleaning solvents section. There was no paper towels, no toilet. There's no fucking toilet. Why was there no goddamn toilet paper? I don't understand why everybody was losing their shit over toilet paper.
Well, the thing, okay, this is the only theory I have. I'm not entirely wondering if it's one of those things that it happened over there in China. The reports went up that everybody in China was buying toilet paper because they're getting quarantined. And then it got over here. People thought, hey, we need to buy toilet paper because the Chinese bought the toilet paper when they had their thing. I think that's it's mob mentality, really.
Yeah,
I did a whole study one time of how mob mentality really works, and what it is that whole theory of if you look up in the sky and just stand there and look up the sky, hopefully not in the sun, you'll blind yourself. But if you just look up, you could be inside of a Walmart or a store or anywhere and just start looking up. And you can have a camera on the other side. You'll probably have a group within about 5-10 minutes looking up with you.
Everybody just kind of, what are you looking at?
Yeah. Everybody is looking up and you just go, what are y'all doing? I'm counting tiles later. It's really funny to do something like that.
Yeah, I used to pull pranks like that, well, similar to that on Navy ships. I would stand outside of a specific hatchway and I would just stand there like I was waiting. And someone would walk over, what are you doing? It's like, oh, they're serving ice cream out of here soon. Oh, shit, I want ice cream. And the guy jump in line with me. And within about 30 minutes, there's, 40, 50 people waiting in a random hallway on the ship that just goes from a hatch all the way down and around corners and shit. And I'd like, oh, I'm tired of waiting. I'm leaving. I'll be back later, though. I was like, okay, I'll hold your spot, Doc. I'd leave. And like within about an hour or so, you'd hear an announcement made over the 1MC or the ship's PA system. And it's someone on the bridge going, all hands, now hear this. Ice cream is not being served out of the executive officer's stateroom. So, of course, people that know me would just kind of look at me and go, you're an asshole. And I'd go, hey, sometimes I got to create my own entertainment.
Yeah. I'm not allowed to do that anymore.
That's what I do when I'm bored.
I get way too. Mine ends up on national news sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like that one time I had that I only said this to a couple of my friends. I had that this whole idea of baby fight club.
You told me about that, and if I remember correctly,
I was more disgusted at myself.
I think I rolled my eyes, shook my head, and then asked, "Why are we friends?"
Yeah, and then you go, "Not really your fault. I mean, you make stupid suggestions, and you even tell people flat out, you shouldn't listen to me because I'm slightly crazy. And
no, you're insane, not crazy.
had the little card I got was saying impaired, so we have to see it.
There's something wrong with you.
No.
But short. Actually, when you were talking to me about, we were talking about the COVID a little bit earlier with all the craziness that's going on. You and I kind of chatted on it a little bit, and tonight when Michael and I were filming for my next YouTube episode, we were talking about kind of the same thing. And one of the topics that we'd gotten into is this whole, everybody, like all the liberals are losing their minds now and starting to panic buy firearms.
Yes. And it's one of those things. It's not a problem. It's just they need to find ways to learn gun safety and find a good instructor other than just panic buy like a lot of people are doing. Yeah. And what's really sad is a lot of people are advocate of finding out, hey, like California's worse. They're literally going in the gun store. It's like, I want a gun. I want this gun, blah, 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 blah.
Good luck finding one right now, though.
No. They're literally saying, it's like, well, you got to wait 10 days. What? Why do I have to wait 10 days?
Because that's the law.
You decided to vote for a person that decided to, hey, if we have a 10-day restriction and lessen the magazines, which they're still actually going through with, there's actually, I think, a 3-judge panel, Supreme Court trying to overrule that.
Really? They're instituting a tribunal for that?
They have to. It's one of those things. It's one of those things if they feel that, because one judge already says, like, hey, this is unconstitutional.
My God, but Coleon Noir is going to have a fucking stroke over this.
No, actually, he's hoping for it.
Are you really?
Well, okay. Think about it this way. This is the whole thing with it. California has a restriction on how many bullets can be in the magazine. Once this goes through in that Supreme Court, not the head Supreme Court, but just California Supreme Court, federal Supreme Court, or smaller jurisdictions. I got it right. Okay. But once that goes through, if it goes through and they say, yes, this is unconstitutional, it's then mandated that every state that has that ruling gets it canceled. So Colorado and other states have the same. I think Colorado, New Jersey, and a couple other. I know New York does too. A couple other states.
You're talking about the?
It gets reversed.
So they're going to do away with magazine capacity caps.
Yeah, they have to. You can't.
That'd be good.
Be unconstitutional at that point in time. It'll be a judge ruling that is unconstitutional.
Well, here's hoping that judge goes in that direction.
Actually, it's 3 judges.
Here's hoping those 3 judges go in that direction. But what I was going to tell you is, like, with all the panic buying out here, first of all, they're good luck finding a gun here now for sale anywhere. But what I was going to tell you,
okay, you find the gun. Now, good luck finding the bullets.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. But
I got lucky on Friday finding 223 rounds for a friend of mine's AR.
Jesus. You remember how you and I talked before about how Austin, or the city of Austin, has basically become Seattle and San Francisco, the sequel. You know, like it's just, oh my God, Austin is no longer Texas.
Well, Dallas is getting the same way almost, because they've already said it's like if you steal something of $500 less, they are not going to prosecute you anymore.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I was going to tell you is I had a friend of mine who like it almost ended our friendship when she found out that I carry a gun, like almost everywhere I go, unless there's a 30-06, 30-7 sign posted, I'm carrying.
Yeah.
And when she found out about that, she's like, I didn't know you're carrying a gun. I was like, yeah, I always carry a gun. And she's like, she lost her shit on me. She's like, I can't believe they're dangerous. That's a weapon. They're for killing people. And I was kind of like, look, I carry what I want to carry. To hell with everybody else. If you got a problem with it, you get to have a problem with it. I don't care. But the short of the long is that, fast forward several months down the line, I haven't talked to her in a long time because life happens, and yeah, you already know it's coming. I get a call from her out of the blue, and she says, hey, can you recommend a gun for me to buy? As I'm really worried with this COVID scare, and I just feel like I need to have a gun in the house to protect myself and my family. Why would she want a
weapon of war?
And then I could have rubbed her face in it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do that because you know me. I'm a big proponent of, do what you need to do to keep yourself and your loved ones safe. Yeah. But what floored me is that it took this big pandemic scare to I guess slap that, or not slap really, but to hit that switch of reality that, oh shit, this could really be going on. And what I was getting at is, with restaurants being closed, with venues being closed, with barbershops being closed, all these smaller businesses that usually employ a lot of people being closed. We're talking a large number of people that are going without income and have been going without income for almost a month now, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like things are going to get back to normal anytime soon. So what my thing is, or my logic is going, okay, so you have this I don't even know what the percentage of the populace is that works in businesses like these that are shut down, but whatever that percentage is, you got to ask yourself, after how long will these people start getting desperate? Where they realize
now it's going to be,
oh shit,
probably...
I have no income and I need food, or I need money, or I need whatever. So then they start looking for targets of opportunity so that they can get stuff that they need to take care of themselves and or their families. I mean, I'm not saying that they're worthless or that they're evil people. I'm just saying that it's human nature. Yeah, they're desperate.
Desperate people. Desperate times calls for desperate measures.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
most of the time, what's going to happen? That's like even right now with my job, it's not guaranteed. Mm-hmm. They already this week we already had layoffs. I'm on an extra 3 days off from for this week. I was only supposed to have like 3 days. I was supposed to have Saturday, Sunday, Monday off, but I got Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday off, and that's only because they need this whole quarter is supposed to be crap because a lot of the a lot of like GE shut down their plant when we for the parts that we ship them. A lot of plants are closing down because they need to quarantine.
Yeah. So
they also laid off like 150 people, and they're trying to also get people to voluntarily get a furlough up until like July 20th.
A furlough.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations. You are on a unpaid vacation from now until July.
Well,
good luck.
This is how the furlough works. Because right now, if you're technically laid off, you can draw unemployment. And they added in, now what you're saying, I was like, well, when's going to happen when people get desperate? Well, if nothing's fixed by November, and that's the time frame from March, April, June, July, August, September, December, January, February.
7 months.
Next February, because the unemployment.
Oh, next February.
Yeah. Okay.
May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. 10 months.
Yeah. The reason why I say that.
Jesus Christ. 10 months?
Okay. The reason why I say, well, after 10 months, if this is not fixed, or we get back, actually, Trump is actually trying to implement it by the end of the month to start up the economy again. But a lot of the doctors and medical people that is medical people, any medical advice you get, they're saying possibly July. Now, saying that's a good time frame. It's not good for people being quarantined and everything because you get stirred up and not doing anything. The reason why I say next February is because that's when the unemployment checks will stop.
Well, let me put it to you this way. If you've probably already thought of this, but I want to say it out loud for your viewers. You want to get an idea of how bad things are right now and how much worse they're going to get in the foreseeable future. Okay. When was the last time you put gas in your car?
Thursday.
How much did it cost per gallon?
$1.45.
$1.45. I went and so a month ago, the average cost of gas here in the Austin area was about $1.65, $1.70, depending on where you went. I put gas in the car yesterday, and it was $1.39 per gallon.
Well, that's not because of the COVID-19.
No, it is.
No.
It's a big part of it because with everybody staying home, people aren't working, people aren't going anywhere because, well, they can't afford to.
No, what had happened is Russia and OPEC were having a bidding war, and OPEC was was pushing out more oil so they can drop the price of oil down. Because right now, it's the barrel that you place the oil in cost more than the oil that you put in.
That doesn't affect the cost of fuel consumption, though. And let me tell you why. Well,
it doesn't.
Hear me out. So remember, we're talking private companies that own the oil that we use to produce fuel. They don't care how much that oil costs. Like if they get the oil cheaper, that is not incentive for them to drop the cost of gasoline because, well, that affects their bottom line. If they're able to get the gas at a lower price, they're not going to lower the cost of what they're selling it at because, well, now they're not making as much money. They're going to keep it where it was and they're going to make that profit. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but the economics of it, the whole reason why, and you can actually look this up afterwards, is they started Russia and OPEC, Saudi Arabia, literally started a price war, and we really heard it from that because of the whole price gouging they were doing. I mean, Saudi Arabia can sell their oil at $8 a barrel, where everybody else sells theirs at like 21 to 25. That was the max limit we can actually max minimum we can actually sell it to actually make a profit. And that's what OPEC and Saudi Arabia were doing.
I still although we're talking about something else, but honestly, I'll have to look it up honestly because I don't know. I'm giving you my logic.
Yeah, I understand your logic.
The cost of oil out there where the bidding first starts, to me, honestly, I don't think it means shit when it comes to how much we're going to be paying for it. Like the only way that I see the price is changing, the price doesn't go down because we're able to get it cheaper. I think the price goes down because nobody's using it.
No,
the price goes up when we have to spend more to get it.
You're right. Okay, it's one of those things that we're both right. It's just you have to see both sides to connect it to really get it. You're right. A lot less people are using oil or gas, so you're going to get cheaper gas prices because no one's going anywhere.
Yeah, but bear in mind also, I am not a stock market guru. I'm not an economist. That's not my lane.
No, I'm
now
one of those people. What's sad is I'm one of those people that I just get bored and I start researching stuff, and I research.
I do too, but I don't research.
Like
I do too, but I don't like to look up economics. I look up stuff that I'm actually interested in. Now, let's go back to what we were talking about, though. The COVID and how it's affecting
the Chinese virus,
like the gun sales and shit.
Yeah.
So when that friend of mine, she called me and she asked me about, like recommending a firearm for her. And instead of rubbing her nose in, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll be more than happy to give you some information. But in the back of my mind, I'm also thinking, oh, it took this for you to finally get your head out of your ass and realize that I'm not the bad guy because I want to be safe. Now you have something to be worried about.
It's really sad.
I made my my recommendation, and she went out. She did what I suggested. She tried a bunch of different ones, finally selected one, blah. But then I talked to her a couple of weeks later, and because she sent me a picture, I was like, "Oh, I got a gun, yay!" And I was like, "All right, congratulations." She said, "How much training are you doing on it?" And she just sent me the emoji with just the blinky face. That training? What do you mean training? I was like, "Okay, so you went out, you bought a gun. Have you fired it yet?" Well, no. Have you gotten any kind of instruction on how to use it, how to maintain it, how to carry it? Well, no, I just put it in my purse.
Whoa. Oh, she fucked up.
Yeah.
So she doesn't even have I'm guaranteeing right now that she doesn't even have a license to carry.
She doesn't.
Oh, no. Yeah, she fucked up bad.
Yeah. So
that's guaranteed no.
Yeah. So of course I tried to. Okay, I turned her toward Michael.
One sec. The reason why I'm so this whole situation is really messed up because one, you have to have your license to carry. One thing they do when you get your license to carry, which takes probably around about 7 to 9 months to get the card back. So you can actually carry it in your purse, or you can carry it in your pocket, or you just carry it.
Mm-hmm.
They actually train you and teach you safety before you do this. A lot of people just think, oh, they just hand you a card and you're all good. Or what she stupidly did was just put it in her purse.
Yeah, well, no, but she did. As I told her when she went to buy it to make sure that she got a holster that covered the trigger guard and all that jazz. So she puts it in her purse, but it's in a holster, and it's not the greatest way to carry it. I know. Well, but that's the way she's doing it. She also told me she doesn't carry it very often. She's only going to take it with her when she's going places where she doesn't feel safe. But for the most part, she got it.
The problem with that, though, the problem still is if she even uses it to protect herself, she's still going to get arrested.
Well, yeah, that's what Michael and I were talking about tonight. Also, is that if someone kicks your door in off the hinges and you shoot them, rather you kill them or not, after you discharge your firearm at somebody, there is a 100% chance that you're going to jail. Yeah. You may not be there long as it was a justified shooting, but while the investigation goes, you're going to be in jail.
Yeah, and me when something like that happens, I just gotta. The problem with someone busting in my door is me going out trying to find the crappy gun. I really just need to buy a high point. Just so if that actually happens,
you'd be better off just
let that motherfucker
just unload it and like pull the rounds out of the magazine and throw them at people. There, I'm shooting you.
No. My thinking is this, okay? All right, I use the
$200 paperweight.
No, it's $150. Cheap. I looked this up.
It's an overpriced paperweight.
The reason why I think about it is because I don't want that gun back anyways.
Yeah, I get
Of
you.
course, I would have to be I would have to tell the cops, is like, hey, just put Glock on there, so when people read the report, I gave you a Glock. No, sir, we can't do that. Fuck. Everybody knows.
But you still carry a Glock, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm well, that's my carry.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, that's my carry. That's always probably going to be my carry until even if when I get my competition gun.
Did you change the trigger out of that Glock 19 yet?
I never changed. I'm keeping it bare bones because I
hate Glock triggers.
Well, okay. I'm gonna have to get used to it anyways. It's one of those things, you train what you use. When I use the competition gun, I'm gonna have to train it for competition, and it's one of those things is I'm gonna have to go back and forth anyways. I might as well get used to it.
Yeah, Glock triggers suck. Just put a pyramid trigger in it and be done with it.
I know, right?
So that will be the best $120 you ever spend. I think they're also, I do believe that they're a drop-in trigger too. So you can do it yourself.
No, you still have a pin on there.
Well, either way, we have a guy that does that. Ben, he's a Glock armor.
In a different country most of the time.
He's here right now, and he'll probably be in the country for the next few months because that entire region is on lockdown. They won't let him back in the country until this shit lifts.
Mm.
He's actually, we were supposed to get together this weekend for the Ren Fair so we could go geek out, but...
Oh, man! Oh, yeah, you had to work.
Yeah, I ended up having to work on Friday, and then yesterday I spent the better part of 10 hours on homework and studying, and then today I spent all day cleaning, so my weekend got, I'm screwed. Yeah. But either way, the Ren Fair was closed anyway, so...
Yeah,
just
most of
due to... Yeah, and I was like, but I was kind of hoping he would come over, because every time he comes over, he goes through the apartment and he hunts down all of my weapons. He takes them apart, like, to the freaking gun technician armor master level disassembly, and just spring cleans them for me and puts them back together.
Wait a minute. Your guns aren't like super clean?
No, they are
right now, because I've cleaned every gun like 3 or 4 times already.
No, my weapons are always clean. However, Ben is an armorer, and he breaks them down. Like, when I break my weapons down to clean them, I only break them down so far. I only field strip them. Yeah. Ben will take them down to every individual piece. Like, on your striker fire weapon, he'll disassemble the striker housing. Oh. And he'll replace all those gaskets, clean everything out. I mean, it's just, I came home one day, and the last time he was here, when I got home from work, he had my AR pistol on the coffee table, and it was, I want to say it was in about 70 pieces or more. Now, when I break down my AR pistol, it's I don't even take the handguard off of the barrel, okay, when I'm cleaning it. But, yeah, I mean, everything. I was like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, come on, man, I can't come home on leave and not clean one of my guys' weapons. It's what I do. I'm your weapons maintainer.
It's one of those things. It's like, you go out to the range, like, that's weird. What's weird? It used to squeak.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. So when you were talking about your carry gun, like, I have a carry gun and I have what I call my bag gun. So my carry gun is the USP compact, and my bag gun is the VP9. The VP9 goes in my bag, carry or on my leg in the event that our economy collapses on itself and we get the second civil war that I've been praying for the past 20 years. So it'll either go in my bag or on my thigh, but the USP is my everyday carry.
No, funny story about fixing things that a person didn't know was broken. My other co-host one of his magazines like, why is this shaking? I was like, it's shaking. What do you mean it's shaking? It's like, listen, and
It
it
was
does
rattling.
It was one of his magazines was rattling. I was like, well, let me take a look. I think one of the bullets is loose in there. I was like, that's fucking impossible. Here, hand me that. It's either spring. No, this is my fix. Hand it back to him. He's like, oh. I was like, yeah, I feel stupid, don't you?
What did he not have? Was it that the round wasn't seated all the way in, or the spring was off center?
All the way.
Oh.
You know, okay, what do they teach you in the military when you actually put rounds in?
Remedial action, rap, tap, bang.
Yeah. And I told him that. I was like, dude, have you not seen any kind of military movies? Remember when they...
So this co-host we're talking about, is this the one that I know?
No, that's Michael.
Okay.
That's my
so
dog.
which co-host are you talking about?
The overweight guy with the beard.
The older bearded gentleman?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I've ever met him.
No, you haven't. We just started hanging out. When I did my training for finishing when I was up at work to get my third skill to get my better pay, we started talking and hanging out. He was like, "Are you one of those people that doesn't really do dark jokes or anything? Because I don't know if they hang out with you." I said one joke. He was like, "Oh dear God, we can be friends."
Yes, you. I've known a lot of people. I have a dark personality. My sense of humor is dark. Your sense of humor is warped.
It's borderline Cthulhu.
Yeah.
It's
David,
like
you and I have been friends 25 years. There's something wrong with you.
No, it's almost as bad as like the message I sent you today.
I've known you almost as long as Gary has, and he and I both agree there's something drastically wrong with this guy.
Just because the rocks bang together every once in a while. But what?
Fucking psycho.
That was another thing I was gonna. I needed to ask you is, and I don't think you really got it. How's your storage of your PPE gear? How much do you have not in excess, but do you feel that you have enough to for your day-to-day work?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we're no longer using the disposable N95 mask or surgical mask now, because this threat here is actually, because it's getting worse. Now we're all wearing the painter style respirator masks.
Oh, okay.
So it's, we bring it home with us and whatnot. It stays with us. So I'll use it through the entire shift.
You don't decontaminate like you did in the service, is have a person like scrub you down.
No, it's not quite that bad yet.
Hey, you could find someone to do it. I mean, sometimes they're cheap.
No, I'm no longer Catholic.
Oh.
No, but with that regard, so now we're wearing the painter style respirator mask, but we're still also wearing our nitrile gloves, and I won't even go through an entire box in a shift. I mean, on average in my 12-hour shift, we'll do between 6 and 9 calls in 12 hours.
Oh, in Austin, that's weird.
Actually, that's pretty heavy. That's a lot.
Really?
My co-host is also a paramedic, but he's a firefighter paramedic. So he's a county firefighter paramedic. So he only does 911 calls. And I work 12-hour shifts. He works 48-hour shifts.
Yeah.
In my 12-hour shift, I'll do between 6 and 9 calls. In his 48-hour shift, he might do 3.
Oh.
Yeah, so my call volume is pretty freaking heavy.
Well, I'm just. It's one of those things. Is I'm not. The one thing I'm not wrapping my head around. It's one of those things. Is you see on TV. They're always going on. If you're watching a show about you know, rescue people, they're
Mm-hmm.
or first responders. You see them. They're always going to a call. I was like, what was that one on USA? It was kind of a comedy with paramedics.
I don't know. I think I know what you're talking about. That was it.
Yeah.
Sirens.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
Yeah. But you got to remember too. He's as a firefighter when they're not out on a call, they're at the station waiting for a call.
Yeah.
The difference is he does strictly 911s. The only time he's going to leave is when someone dials 911. With me, I do 911s, but we also do interfacility transport. So that means that say you've got your COVID patient at this hospital that was getting treated and they start to crash. Well, now they need to go to a hospital that is a higher level of care. Well, they have to get there somehow. It's going to be by ambulance. So they're going to send me and my partner over there to pick this patient up and transport them from that hospital to the other hospital. So most of our night is spent doing stuff like that. And then, we get the occasional 911 sprinkled in on us because our truck isn't a 911 dedicated truck. We're kind of scattered out. We go wherever we get called to.
Oh, okay.
And we're not just relegated to Austin. We've gone as far south as Galveston.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's a long night. if we get sent out to Galveston, we're only doing that one call, and we're still going to get back to the station an hour after our shift has ended.
Oh, wow. No, I still think it's funny with firefighters because most of the calls you do is like non-fire. It's more
It's almost all
life.
medical.
Yeah, it's most firefighters. It's medical that more than it is actual fires.
Yeah. Well, I think Michael was saying that since he's been there, I think he said he's only had one structure fire, and he's been working there for like a year.
Oh, wow.
He's like 90% of the calls that they get are EMS, not fire.
Yeah. But I just find that funny. You're a firefighter and you barely see a fire.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
true.
another thing. I gotta message one of the people that met through Honor Flight. He's a firefighter for Dallas Fort Worth area.
Ah.
Scheduled an interview with him, but I was scheduled a couple of interviews. I just found out that a couple of weekends ago that I can record. I was trying to find a way to do something like this and still do the interviews, and I found out you can record off of Skype. I was like, oh.
You're like, well, guess what I'm gonna do?
Guess what I'm gonna have to do now?
Yeah,
Actually,
tonight.
I was ready and willing to go over other places to record all this stuff with all my recording gear and everything. And then I was like, oh, you can do that?
Yeah. Well, Michael and I actually recorded tonight's episode off of my phone.
Yeah. That's another thing I'm gonna, because I told you about getting the editing stuff.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm gonna get is a gimbal. They're only like $140. What if you want good quality, you pay for some of the stuff.
That's why I go with H&K. Buy once, cry once.
Yeah, I still don't like the gun. It's just it's one of those things. It's if I buy something, I want it stupid simple when I have to take it apart. I understand it probably is something stupid simple, but when I look at it first, you'd have to like disassemble it in front of me, just like, oh, okay, yeah, it'd be, I could do that. It's one of those. I have to look at
understood.
myself
The next
first,
time I make it up to Wichita, middle of nowhere Falls, I'll bring the VP9. I'll break it down in front of you, and then you'll go, I want one.
No, I'm already a headset for the Sig
365.
No, it's P320 X5.
Okay. Oh, same basic platform. Man, those guns, the grip on them, dude. If I didn't have gorilla-sized hands, I would have one of those Sig models because
Oh no, you should
the
really
grip is
look at the.
stippled. Oh, it's stippled so much it almost feels rubberized.
No, you should look at the X5. I mean, it's for competition, and
Yeah, I don't want anything for competition.
No. The reason why I say it would probably be good for you is because the handle for it is it might fit on your gorilla size hands.
Oh, yeah. But
Because I was gonna buy this one gun competition. It was a Turkish gun, and it was already set up. It was almost the same price range and everything. As soon as I gripped it, my pinky finger kept on hitting the bell
mm-hmm.
for putting the magazine in easier.
Okay.
And my pinky just hit that. And when I grabbed the SIG, it was just like it fit my hand. And it still had a little bit more space. So it might actually fit yours a little bit better.
Well, that's what I like about the VP9 is it's first it's a full-size grip. It's a double stack mag. But it's also got the customizable backstrap and side straps.
Oh, okay.
So it's it fits my hand beautifully. And then with the USP, it's just huge anyway.
Yeah. There's another thing. Steve has it on his H&K, and it's like a sticker grip. It's like sandpaper almost.
Mm-hmm.
And you just I'll send you the link to the company as soon as
is it like a grip tape?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I don't need that though, because I wear gloves.
No, you don't understand. No, you don't understand. Even with gloves, you notice the difference.
Yeah.
It's like night and day. As soon as I gripped it, I was like, oh my god, I want this stuff that's on it. What is it? Is it some magical? Do you have to go see a wizard?
Yes. What is this sorcery?
Yeah, it's one of those. It's like, what's this wizard? It's on a website. You can order it. It's like $2.
Oh Jesus!
Really?
No, I finally got the or made the magazine holders or magazine pouches for my bag. I don't know why it took me so damn long to sit down and do it. I mean, these things have been in the closet for like 2 years. So I finally went ahead.
No, that was so funny.
Oh Jesus! Here, I'll actually show it to you here too.
Right.
I'm really impressed with it.
Please be wearing pants.
It's by the company Vertex.
Okay.
Give me a second here. You still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you. Sorry, folks. He was wearing pants.
Okay, so here's the bag. I'll open it down.
Oh, okay. You
pretty badass, right?
Yeah, you just didn't put the Velcro in there.
Hang on. Oh. Damn it.
You broke it.
How about that? Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you all right.
Okay, I can't hear you for shit on mine, but yeah. So these things I made today and went ahead and just set them in there, and it works out really nicely. I was pretty happy with it. This is the VP9.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a nice bag.
All right, let me put my headset back in so I can hear you.
Yeah, that's pretty. And it took you how long to put those back in?
Hang on, I still can't hear you. I got to plug them back in.
Oh.
Okay, now I can hear you.
And it took you how long to put those in?
Do what?
It took you how long to put those in?
To put what in?
The Velcro stuff in there?
I don't know, maybe 5 minutes.
No, I mean, how long to actually put it in there?
Oh, 2 years.
Wow, it's Velcro, dude.
No, because you have to actually wrap them up and make them. And every time I would look at it, I'd go, "Oh, I'll do it later," and I'd put it back in the coffee table and forget about it. And I would never remember until I had to open up the coffee table drawer and I'd see it and go, "Oh yeah, I need to do that. I'll do it later," and then I would forget again. So I just, over the past 2 years, I just keep forgetting about it. And then, today while I was cleaning, I was like, okay, I better do this now because if I don't, I'm gonna forget, and the shit's still gonna be in there next year.
I can't really. You know what? I could say something, but I really can't say anything because I'll go up and like, I've probably done something just like that. Like, I'm. It's one of those things. If it's not really, if it's not really there, it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
I was like,
well, every time I looked at it, I was like, because I had the holster in there. I was like, I should really put the mag pouches in there. And then I keep thinking, I was like, I got 15 rounds already. I'm good. But now I got 45.
Now I can miss a lot.
Yeah, now I can miss a lot more than just 15.
Yeah. That's the reason why I don't. I'm one of those people that it's just I'm a simplest. I can't really. My dad brings around 2 magazines. I know you bring 2 extra magazines.
I do that for a purpose, though.
My dad, you can say the same thing. My dad goes, "Go ahead."
No. The thing is, when I'm here and I'm moving around, if I'm carrying my weapon and whatnot, I don't carry extra mags. I only carry my loaded weapon. The only time I carry spare magazines is when I'm going to an area, one, that I'm either not familiar with, or if I'm going on a long road trip and I know that I'm going to have to stop in an area that would be considered a little shady.
Okay, yeah, I can understand.
So that's what I mean by I do it with a purpose. So I only carry according to the environment that I'm going into.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
No,
that's why, whenever you come down here to visit and we're hanging out in Round Rock or Austin, I usually only carry my loaded weapon and a folding knife. But whenever I go up to see you, because I have to drive for 5.5 hours to get out there, and I'm, surrounded by nothing, and the one place I stop for gas is kind of Silent Hill meets the Hood-esque kind of looking area.
Yeah,
I have my loaded weapon, 2 spare magazines, and a fixed bladed knife instead of a folding one.
Yeah.
So I always carry according to the environment that I'm going to be in.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Kai have this thing that when we're driving, we're going around towns and everything, we keep on seeing like an off shot where a farm is at, or a ranch, and you just see one light. And every horror movie, if you're stuck in your car breaks down, where does everybody go to that one light? We've already learned our damn lesson.
Actually, before I forget, the next time you come out here, remind me, and I'll take you over to the barbecue place that actually housed the true story of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I've heard like 15 different stories.
Well, area where we do our.
It was probably shot there.
No, the actual place.
No, the person. I've heard that the guy was actually from Michigan.
No, he might have been from Michigan, but the actions took place out in the county where we do our 911 response.
Oh.
I've driven when I was doing my this is how you drive an ambulance kind of classes. The supervisor I was with, as we drove by, she points at it. She goes, "Yeah, you see that over there?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "You ever seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "That's where it happened." I was like, "No shit."
Okay.
But I could be wrong. She may have been talking about the movie, but I'm pretty sure that she was referring to the actual
because it was
events.
it was shot near Austin, Texas. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual killer, he did. Okay, there's like 5 different horror movies. The actual serial killer that it was actually from. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was one of them because he killed differently like every time.
Yeah. Well, that's neither here nor there. What were we talking about originally? I kind of feel like we went off the rails.
Nah, we didn't go off the rails. We're talking about your stuff with COVID-19.
Yeah, it's like
Actually,
we went from
talking about
COVID to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah,
that was a weird segue.
We went to PPE gear all the way over to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I'll do one better. There's in Lubbock, Texas. They have something called the Killing Fields. Have you heard of that?
It sounds familiar.
It's where they do tests. Basically, when you say you're giving your body to science, that's where you go because they test out different things that happens to human bodies.
Interesting.
They put a body in a trunk and they just do studies. This is scientific studies, not some guy out in the boondocks going, "You got any extra bodies out there that I can borrow? I want to test some stuff out."
Yeah, something tells me that the guy that talks like that is getting his bodies from other sources.
Yeah, you can pick one up from the morgue if you pay.
He's probably picking his bodies up from some place with neon lights and alcohol. Or truck stop bathrooms.
That's just a whole new freaking fear.
Or Walmart.
That's a whole new fear.
Yeah.
Man, stop that. Oh, but no, that was another. What have you been up to other than that? Because I've been going down the rabbit hole of serial killers here lately.
No, honestly, it's like I said earlier. I go to work, I come home. I'm still in school. They've got me in critical care transport school right now, so it was the next logical step for me as far as my career progression goes.
Okay.
It's essentially I'm learning how to be an ICU paramedic on wheels. Okay. So the people that are really, really critically ill or on a lot of life support devices, I'm learning how to use those devices and troubleshoot them when something happens during transport. Like, I'll give you an example. The chapter that we covered the other day in school was for high risk pregnancy. So when you're in the back of the ambulance with a woman who's 24 weeks pregnant and her water breaks, that baby's coming a little early. So when she gives birth to a baby that's this big, I have to be able to keep it alive.
Oh, I was thinking maybe the whole Robin Hood Prince of Thieves thing where Morgan Freeman just had to cut it out.
Yeah, no. There's a little bit more to it than that.
I guess,
there's a little bit more to it than that.
Or the new Conan and the Barbarian movie where he had to be cut up out of his mother.
I don't know. I'd like to think more like Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura Part 2. Yeah. No, actually, I was referring to when he helps the lady give birth by like pressing down and shooting the baby out across the room. Although the rhinoceros birthing or the hippo birthing was entertaining.
No, it was rhinoceros.
Was it a rhino? It was a rhino.
Yeah.
That's a good girl. I got Arya over here passed out next to me on the couch.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. She's a bud.
Yeah. How's Maylin doing?
She's doing well. She was supposed to be coming home here in the next couple of weeks. But Kuwait is on lockdown, so she probably won't be able to come home until next year.
She's still getting she still gets paid for the time that she's over there. Or she's still
Oh
working.
yeah. No, she's totally getting paid.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's just, but I mean, it sucks. I was telling
You
her
know
the other
what?
day
I
when she and I
totally
were
forgot
talking
about
how
that
much I
bipod.
hate it when she's gone. Huh?
I totally forgot about that bipod. I was supposed to give you the bipod so she can put it on her scar.
I think
She
that
has that. She
she.
has that handle bipod that's just like mine that you can buy for $20. But I got that uh actual.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you got the bipod that's housed inside the foregrip.
Yeah, and she's got the same thing, right?
I think she does. I need to take that scar out and clean it and put it up on display, but yeah, I'm not going to do that until I'm ready to start filming with all the guns hanging up as a backdrop.
Oh.
Like she gets mad at me when I go to the range and I don't take her scars. She's like, "Did you take the scars?" Like, no, because I
No,
don't
because I
have.
can't afford it.
Well, no, I'm not a fan of the scar. What I don't like about the scar is the charging handle. It reciprocates whenever you pull the trigger, unlike with the AR-15. So every time you pull the trigger, that the charging handle cycles.
Oh,
And
charging.
I don't. That's a feature of the scar that I just hate.
I thought the charging handle comes back too with the AK. I think it
Does.
does.
Well, it does.
So it's the same as a scar.
No, okay, you misheard me. I said with the AR, not AK.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did mishear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the AR, the charging handle stays forward while you're using it. But I just don't like the reciprocating charging handles because as I'm moving around, I've had a couple of times I've had the charging handle catch my thumb.
Oh, you had the same
And
problem that I used to have with the
and,
Glock. Reason
and
why
that
I didn't really like
fucking
the Glock.
hurts. It hurts like a son of a bitch. It
Okay.
probably wouldn't be quite so bad if I wasn't left-handed.
Yeah.
Because then the charging handle will be on the outside, but because it's so close to where I'm gripping, if I panic and I come up too quickly and I pull the trigger, that charging handle just it'll bite my thumb, and oh god, it hurts so bad.
Or get your thumb out of the way no matter what.
Well, yeah, you would, but it's one of those things where when you're surprised and rounds are coming at you and you're just reacting, coming up on target, that it after having that experience with it in the field, it just left me with a really bad taste in my mouth.
No, I can see that because I did the same thing with the Glock. That's the reason why I didn't like the Glock for so long because I ended up getting cut right there.
Oh, it bit you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I like and the Glock that you carry is the one that I used to carry, right?
Yeah, because it has a beaver tail on it now.
Yeah, because I really liked the Glock. The one reason I did not, well, two reasons that I didn't like the Glock. You already know I hate their trigger, but the problem that I had with it was unless I was wearing gloves, every time I would fire that weapon, the magazine release would dig into one of my fingers, and it was just a pain in the ass. It was like shooting with a sand spur on the side of the weapon because I'm left-handed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, at least you didn't. Well, at least you didn't have the same problem that Evan Hafer had.
What problem do you have?
When he was going through room clearing. Actually, I think he actually was in combat. He was room clearing a building, and he didn't realize that he had his finger on the magazine release on his M4, and he hit the button on accident, and the magazine slipped down a little bit. It didn't fall out. It just hit down on one a little bit. He would have fired one shot, and he was like, "I would have messed that guy up really bad with that one shot." I hope.
Oh man, yeah, that's what you call a worst case scenario.
Yeah.
You're looking and go, holy shit, I hope this doesn't happen.
Yeah, because once you fire that shot, it's gonna make the magazine fall down completely, and it's gonna just ruin your whole fucking moment there because the magazine falls. You look down. Oh, he has a barrel to my head now. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be bad. Although,
It's
well, I
one of
think I told you about why I hate Beretta, right?
No, you never said that.
Well, okay, so way back when when the standard issue sidearm was the Beretta 92 Foxtrot.
Yeah.
Uh,
A lot of people don't like that gun.
where was I? Where were we? We were in Iraq. We were taking fire from close quarters. So one of my guys was wounded, and I was trying to shield him and return fire at the same time. And I drew my Beretta, and I took aim on a guy that he's right in front of me, and I pulled the trigger. And I couldn't have been any further than maybe 15 feet max. 50 feet. It might have actually been closer than that, but 15 feet at the furthest. And I hit him right in the center of his forehead, and he just hit him, and he fell straight back. And I thought, okay, good. And then I immediately went to trying to treat my Marine. Well, while I was treating my Marine, my battle buddy said that the dude that I just plugged in the forehead, this is after the fact. He's like, Doc, you hit that dude in the face and he went down. You started working on our guy. I started re-engaging, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw the dude that you shot in the face sit up like a fucking vampire.
Holy shit.
He sat back up and he did one of these numbers and then picked up his AK and went to re-engage me. And then that guy grabbed me and pulled me down below the berm and engaged him. But I mean, after that, I was like, I'm fucking done with this. I will never carry another Beretta for the rest of my career as long as I live. So when we exfilled back to the boat, we were turning in all of our gear, blah, and I complained to my armor about the issue that I had, and he was the consummate professional. Is like, well, the problem wasn't the weapon. The problem was more than likely just the rounds. You probably didn't have a full charge in the cartridge. And I was like, I'm never carrying that piece of shit again. He's like, dude, I'm telling you, you had a bad round. I don't care. I'm not carrying that goddamn thing again. So, a couple of days later, they're sending us out again on another op, and I go down to the armory to get my weapons and gear issued out to me. Yeah, and he pulls out my M4. He's like, okay, I got everything. And throw that over my chest, and he pulls my M9 out of the locker, and he puts it up on the table. And he goes, all right, there's your Beretta. And I picked it up, and I looked at it, and I threw it into the trash can. I said, give me something else. He's like, dude, I told you. I was like, give me something else. He's like, all right, fine. He walks over to one of the seal containers, and he opens it up. Well, I don't even know if it was really one of the seal containers. It may have been one of the recon guys, recon team's lockers. But he opens up one of the other lockers, and he comes over to me, and he hands me a USP, like full size. And he goes, here, try this. And that was the first time I'd ever gone out into the field with an H&K, and I'd been an H&K guy ever since.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a SEAL team because they manage their own weapons.
Yeah, but they still have to store them in the armory. On a Navy ship, they store them in an armory. On a Navy ship. Okay. Yeah. That's what I was referring to, because all the weapons are kept in the armory. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it was probably just one of the Force Recons.
Because there's a lot things. Of the
because I know for the longest time, I know the SEALs carried H&K for a long time. I don't remember when they swapped over to Sig Sauer, but I think they carry Glock. Although I could be wrong. I don't know.
I know some. I was talking to Team Guy. He told me, he's like, I don't even carry a sidearm when I went in.
Yeah, one of my old buddies, he was the same way. He said that at first he did, but he said that a lot of the guys in the teams are like, yeah, we don't carry sidearms because it's just extra weight.
Well, the way he described it, his old reasoning was, because if he has a malfunction with his gun, or he has to reload, or he has to go to his sidearm, his battle buddy is usually just shooting the guy anyway. So he's like, that's a waste. I'll just carry a cleaning kit.
Yeah.
It's this way.
No, my buddy was telling me, he's like, yeah, it's just extra weight that I don't want to have to carry. So I was like, so what do you carry as a backup? And he goes, an MP5. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, why an MP5? And he's like, because they won't let me carry a UMP.
Well, no, that's not bad as sidearms go. It's I know a guy, he was talking about him going out, and this is he worked for the company, and he basically they were telling him, was like, yeah, we're going out to this area and everything like that. Oh, that area? Okay. He takes his pistol, he unloads it and everything, puts it in a secure area, and then he's like, hey, hand me a couple of those grenades. He's like, grenades? You're not taking your sidearm? He's like, no, the place that we're going, if I have to go to my secondary, I want something that goes with a bigger bang.
Oh gosh.
So you
I do remember when I first went with the Marines, there was a point in time when I was kind of worried because, there was a point when I'd never been in combat. Yeah, so I was scared. It was one of those moments where I was like, yeah, I remember a couple of years ago, I was the baddest motherfucker on the block and ain't no one gonna mess with me. And now I'm being told you're going to Afghanistan. And I thought, oh shit, I can actually die. This shit just got real. So yeah. I'm talking to my Marines. I'm like, guys, I'm worried. You guys need to let's talk equipment and whatnot. And the way that it was put to me at that time, because I mean, this is before I went to sniper school too, and they were like, all right, Doc, look, if it ever gets to the point where you have to pull a weapon and start throwing rounds down range, that means that we're in real deep shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I shouldn't have to I shouldn't have to shoot anything, because y'all have seen me shoot. I can't shoot for shit, because at that time I really couldn't shoot for shit. And they knew that. And they're like, oh no, Doc, we got you. And I was such a bad shot at that time that whenever we would go out on an op, while we were in the helo on our way out there, I would start giving my ammunition to my guys. And I was like, hey, who needs extra mags? And they're like, why aren't you keeping? I was like, no, look, I only need two. I need 2 rounds in my sidearm. And they're like, why 2? I said, one's for you and one's for me, just in case we get captured. And that worked for a while, but then they made me learn how to shoot. So
yeah. No, what's really bad is like a lot of people, because my story is one of those things. I was a cook, and everybody they have these like really great war stories and everything. And then they come to me and it's like, oh, you're just a cook. You never saw combat. You picked up donuts in Kuwait. I did once. And they're like, ha ha ha, that's funny. I was like, no. They're like, man, Kuwait isn't even a deployment, man. That's just a vacation. It's a couple of months of vacation. I was like, and I tell him what happened. He's like, you're messing with this. I was like, no, this is what happened. How you're not going anywhere with us? If you're that bad luck, you can get shot at it in Kuwait when there's not even a war going on. No.
Well, all things considered.
That just reminds me of another story of the active duty versus reserves or National Guard. I understand wording when you're in an environment that you're.
Hey, pause the recording.
Okay, hold on. Well, what happened was, I was going in with a reserve guy to pick up the donuts off the base, and we had to transfer the TCNs. And what had happened was, he kept on eating the donuts. Well, when we're out on the base, we have to go. When the donuts are on the vehicle, we have to have bomb squad. The security forces have to come out. They get the first things of donuts and everything. but we still have to have bomb squad, have a dog go in and check everything out. This stupid motherfucker kept, every time he would eat the donut, he was like, man, these donuts are the bomb. And me and the security forces people were going, what? These donuts are the bomb. Really? Really? We're searching for a freaking bomb here. And you keep on bringing up a bomb. Donuts and bomb. We have to go in like 3 or 4 times to make sure that there's no bomb in these donuts. And me and the security forces are just looking at each other. I'm like, no, this is not on me. This is not on me. He's an idiot.
Like, that's it. You're not going with me ever again.
What's even worse is he outranked me, so he had to go.
Oh God.
Yeah, and I was looking at this. He's reserves, and they would just look at me, going, "Oh."
Poor idiot.
Well, that's another funny thing that's happening now. I mean, I wonder if this is happening in Austin too, because they're doing this in a lot of the cities. Is like right now, K. Yeager Coliseum, the place that we go to the gun show and everything.
Mm-hmm.
What they're doing now is that's going to be a staging area for COVID-19 if it has to blow up, and the National Guard is going to be there to guard and everything. And as soon as someone said that, I was like, thank you for letting me know this. This is very good information if I ever need to get equipment. He's like, well, the National Guard is going to be there. I was like, yeah, you're not a veteran. You don't understand.
Yeah, Michael was mentioning that too. He's like, yeah, I want to get a new helmet because I've got one, but it's actually just a little bump helmet. And if I ever get a set of nods, from a National Guardsman that drops them, they're just going to be.
If you see me rolling in a new Humvee with spinners on it and a lift kit, don't ask where I got the Humvee.
Yeah, right. Oh gosh.
By the way, FBI agent, please don't. But no, and he's just going off. It's like, man, they're trained to do this. It's like, oh, you don't really understand, dude. You're not a veteran.
Yeah.
You don't know how much.
Clearly, you've never done anything with the National Guard before.
Yeah. I could literally go up and say, hey, look, a distraction. And I could take all their gear. Oh, did you hear? Okay, this happened in Christmas time frame. A couple of Marine, I think it was in Georgia, a base in Georgia, Marine base. And this is just how stupid it is. They were doing Hands Across America in the field, and the exercise field. Guess the reason why? 2 M4s became missing because someone came out in a truck and stole the M4s.
Jesus. Well, one of the problems that we've had lately is when we get a patient to the hospital, it's become, I don't know how often it's happening, but it's happening often enough to where we have to be extra vigilant about this. People are breaking into our ambulances and stealing our PPE.
Yeah. Well, there was a thing in New York. That was another thing. Was it was a governor or mayor or something to that extent. It was one of the high ups because these people were hoarding PPE gear. So the sheriff's department came in and took it. That was it's illegal, one, very highly illegal. But I mean, they were literally filling a U-Haul truck full of the PPE gear. It's one of those things. You have to pay for this stuff. You can't just go ahead and take it, even if the person is being a douchebag and hoarding vital gear for safety. But you still have, I mean, 2 wrongs don't equal a right.
Mm-hmm. But if they bought it, it's theirs.
Yeah. But it's just all kinds of craziness. Well, it's the whole thing, like the horror stories during Katrina that I've been finding out. During crisis, you find out about a lot of the horror stories you hear from other disasters, like sheriff's department during Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans. They were literally raiding people's houses and taking their weapons.
Tisk, tisk.
Yeah, it's situations like this that people really understand what's overreaching on our government and why certain people, and I'm not going against liberals or conservatives or anybody. It's just basic fact that you have to realize that when a government oversteps their bounds of taking control and everything, that's why a lot of people that are very upset about the quarantine, and the government isn't supposed to force you to stay in your homes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They literally, even Trump is saying this is a suggestion, but we're going to have to stop a couple of working areas, and just to stop this virus. Now, he didn't say at any point in time, hey, you have to stay home. He said, this is a suggestion, like a good politician, and this is not going for Trump or anything like that. This is just the way you're supposed to word stuff when you're dealing with stuff like this.
So he's suggesting a self-imposed curfew, basically.
Yeah.
Or self-imposed quarantine.
But there's places that they're literally saying, hey, you can't go out or anything like that. And
yeah, that's not happening here.
yeah.
But people are, like, in this area, people are taking it upon themselves to stay with that safe social distancing thing. Yeah. They're like, nobody's going out to go shopping, so on and so forth.
Or like stupid people in LA where they have a whole fucking neighborhood block party. It's a wonder why there's a lot of people there. It's one of the things, like, you can't make us do this, but common sense says it's like, hey, listen, this is a bad thing. If we just deal with this for 3 weeks and let this go over, they won't try to implement stuff like they did in China, where they actually welded doors shut. And when they unwelded them, they were surprised that the people inside were all dead.
Jesus. I hadn't even heard of that.
Oh, God. Like I said, I go down the internet rabbit hole here lately that it's just all kinds of weird. That what people, I mean, there's I think it's somewhere near Turkey or Turkestan. They're literally what they're basically doing is to combat the Chinese virus. They are literally telling people not to use the word COVID-19 because it isn't really a thing. They're literally just killing people because of it. Mm-hmm. And the leader of Cambodia just decided, it's like, well, this government's fucked. I'm going to go to Germany with my 20 wives. Iran's supreme leader is cut off his whole entire family and everything. So he's basically keeping his family out of reach for like 15 feet, and he just lets his staff. He's just basically alone for right now until it all blows over. But you know, when you have billions of dollars, you can do stuff like that.
Yeah, you can do pretty much whatever you want with enough money.
Yeah.
God.
But that is another thing, though, that what a lot of people are now realizing is during all the people that are saying it's like, oh, socialism is a new thing that we need to implement. And I'm sorry if I'm getting on a political thing on this, but a lot of the billionaires are actually donating a lot of their fortunes to help research, get PPE gear, get ventilators. I mean, Elon Musk just bought 40 ventilators to the United States and donated them. A lot of companies are stepping up. A lot of alcohol companies, whiskey companies. There's one in Houston that they switched from making whiskey to actually making hand sanitizer.
No, the isopropyl alcohol.
Yeah. Lead Slinger did the same thing. I mean, what a lot of people are not understanding is during a crisis, we actually step up, but it's the naysayers and everything that go down and just say, oh, the big companies, corporations are bad. We need to start helping out the small businesses. I was like, technically, if you want to say something, I mean, some of those small businesses, yeah, are not going to survive this. It's going to be really sad.
I'll be really interested to see what happens with the U.S. economy over the next couple of months, considering our economy is backed by the gross domestic product, which is supported through consumption. With nobody out there spending money, our like the value or the power of the American dollar is going to tank.
My biggest thing isn't that, it's the transfer of making goods, because right now a lot of countries, including this one, hopefully, can't get started on the PPE gear stuff. Most of our stuff is actually made in China. Well, a lot of countries now are getting away from China and having other countries make their stuff. Japan doesn't want to deal with them anymore.
Japan doesn't do anything in China.
Apparently they did, because they just went on a thing. They just said we're having all of our stuff that's made in China made in somewhere else. So
yeah, if they do, yeah, it's very little, because I know that like Japan doesn't import anything, or they import virtually nothing from China and or Korea.
Even South Korea?
Yeah. Like, dude, Japan is the most hated of all. Like in Asia, Japan is the one nation that's hated by all of Asia.
We got over it, and they fucking bombed the shit out of us. Of course, we just.
Well, they bombed the shit out of us, but the difference is that Japan invaded and occupied all of the other major Asian nations. Like they occupied South Korea, China. But there's still when I was in China, there's still areas that you can go to where you can see the original signs still posted that read "No dogs or Chinese allowed."
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, the Japanese back in the 1920s, 1930s, they were just a colossal bag of dicks to all of Asia. They really were. I mean, Japan was oh my God, Japan was a raging dick.
Well,
it really was.
We kind of gave them a little bit of humble pie after we made a couple of their people glow sticks. So
yeah. You know, the sad thing too is that the documentation of their history is so diluted or convoluted that, like, Takako's grandparents they did not know why the U.S. dropped 2 atomic bombs on them.
Oh wow, yeah, wow,
it's that like their history is that diluted.
Well, it doesn't really surprise me. I mean, look at North Korea right now. Whenever they or whenever we give them goods or a humanitarian aid with because they when they see the American flag, their first response, and this is coming from people that uh, ran away from North Korea. They see the American flag. They thought it was just evil enemy, and the the supreme leader uh, convinced the United States to give us the stuff because we're so badass type stuff.
Hmm.
But
Well, that
there's
was how the Japanese, when China invaded Korea, the way that it was put back to them was basically the general of the army and the admiral of the navy sent a letter back to the shogun or the emperor of Japan and basically said, yeah, so we showed up in Korea and they liked everything that we had and the way we did things so much that they just gave their country to us. So we own that now. And then a certain time after that, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, China, yeah, we own that now too.
yeah, there's two things on this one. The first one is what happened. This is on us. This is how we kind of uh, messed messed up history a little bit. Well, way we were taught. We weren't the we weren't the first ones to get to Hitler.
Who
It
was?
it was the Russians.
Oh.
Germans actually teach that to their kids and
Yeah,
everything,
but
but
wasn't Russia part of the Axis powers?
they were still the Axis powers. But the way a lot of people in America think is America was the ones that finalized the last part of the war, but it is actually we allowed Russia to do the strike first, and we came afterwards.
Ah, okay.
Now, here's the other thing, and this is just recent stuff. The World Health Organization had a press conference, which they're messing up because they're in the pockets of China because China gives a lot of money to the Health Organization, and they were trying to say it's like, hey, uh, Thailand's having a bad time too. The head speaker for the World Health Organization won't even say Thailand because China claims that Thailand is part of China.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't
Wait,
even.
is it Thailand or Taiwan?
I think it's. No, you're
I
right.
think it's probably Taiwan.
It started with the T. I'm dyslexic. Shut up.
I still think that we should start calling dyslexia dyslexic. That way, people who have it would know what they had. That was your joke. You said that.
Yeah, I know. And
it stuck with me. I'm like, you said that. God, oh God, when did you say that to me? I think that we were in the 10th grade when you said that to me, and it made me laugh so hard I was almost in tears. I do remember that I snorted when you said it to me. And it just that's the one David joke that has stuck with me for over 20 years.
Well, good thing it wasn't one of my recent
I'm going to
jokes.
start calling dyslexia dyslexic. And I said, why? I said, that way people who have it will know what they have. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Jesus Christ. And it wouldn't have been as funny if you didn't have dyslexia.
I know, right? Well, it's almost
And I
better
remember you said that while we were in English class, and it was Miss Fain, our teacher. She heard it too, and even she went, "What?"
Hey, sometimes I come up with gems.
Oh yeah, they're few and far between, but when they come, they're good.
I can sell that.
Oh God, that was funny.
Well,
all right, dude. Hey, it's like 2:00 in the morning.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I don't have to go to work.
Well, I'm getting tired, so
Let's
let's wrap this up.
If you can we'll wrap this up. Uh, oh man, I am getting tired now.
Yeah.
Once you mention it, it messed me up. Well, everybody, this is going to be the end of the episode. You go ahead and tell us what your YouTube channel is so they can go to it.
My YouTube channel is called Melting Snow.
Melting Snow. We'll go ahead and end this. I'm David Dickerman, and this is our special guest, Jason Sigler. Thank you for watching. Hopefully, we see you again later on.
All right, bud.
All
It was
right.
good chatting with you. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, bud. Love
All
you.
right. Love you. Cheers.
All right.